Hey everyone, we're here with Adam fucking Cody. Can you believe it? I can't. What a fucking badass he is. Of course, my introduction was Wretched, and then he did some fill-in vocals with one of my favorites, Battle Cross, and now Holy fucking Roller, who recently inked a deal with Ripple Music. You know who the fuck Ripple Music is. I'm really excited because Adam is such a tremendous like vocalist and musician and just a fucking good dude. I'm glad to see him doing more shit musically, and I'm super stoked that he's here with us. Adam, thank you for being here, dude.
Absolutely, man. Great to be here. Great to see you again.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been a long time since the road.
Yeah, I know. My first question is like, when are we going to get Holy Roller out here in Kentucky?
Man, we love to come to Kentucky. Honestly, like if you know people that are booking venues in the area, just hit us up, man. We're trying to spread our wings a little bit and kind of get out of the region some and do what we can.
Hell yeah. Well, Braun Dabney from Crop is booking Al's Bar in
Yeah.
Lexington.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't put that together, but we've been talking to him about that and not this year, of course, but hopefully next year maybe we can get onto that, and that'd be awesome because we played with him a couple times and they're badass, man. We really
Yeah,
enjoyed that.
they're a lot of fucking fun. I love all those dudes. Um,
Nice.
so I was actually just talking to Braun earlier. He's like, "Come on, we got to fucking do blah blah blah." And I'm like, "All right, hold on."
Hell yeah. Yeah, he's really easy to get along with. Like, he seems just like a similar type dude, just down to have a good time, into good music.
Yep. Yeah, like let's do it. So I know you've been through, I don't know, 12, 20 to 3,000 fucking different projects.
Yeah.
What was the catalyst for like Holy Roller coming about?
It was kind of a long time coming, I think. I know when I was on tour with Wretched, I had really gotten into, I mean, a little before that, but my time on the road with Wretched gave me all kinds of time to listen to music. And I found myself more and more listening to stoner rock than anything else. And mainly that really started with like Clutch and the Sword, but I'd say Clutch was my uh, first taste of like real stoner rock kind of stuff. And I mean, I liked, Doom and Sludge and things like that. I liked Neurosis and Crowbar and bands like that. Um, but I think after being on the road with Wretched, I was exposed to so much brutal death metal, like 24/7, which is great. I love brutal death metal still. But, when you're playing it and then listening to it in the van and then listening to it in the venue, and then maybe at the after party or whatever you're doing afterwards, you're listening to it there. I wanted, just something different. And I love hip hop too. I listen to a lot of that and a lot of soul and R&B and whatever, surf rock and weird shit. But stoner rock was just kind of something that you could jam to, you could smoke a little bowl and vibe out to. Still heavy, but not so heavy that it was like, costing you the whole time. And I think that's where the seed for playing in this band for me started, was just being a big fan of those bands. And, I started a band with some friends called The Swamp before this band that was kind of similar, not really exactly the same, but it was kind of like a stepping stone into this band. But yeah, I think that's kind of where it came from. Also been a vocalist my whole life. And, I've been a guitar player, novice guitar player my whole life also. And yeah, I love writing songs. I won't say I'm a guitarist as much as somebody who just wants to be able to write a song. Yeah, I think this band was really a way for me to write some songs and get with some people that were like-minded and start writing songs together. This album is definitely a collaborative effort of everybody's songs and ideas put together.
Oh yeah. I think sometimes you need that, right? Especially, I mean, we all know. I'm glad that you're like hip hop and some R&B and soul. You're kind of all over the place with music.
Oh yeah.
Uh, because I it gets fucking boring to listen to the same thing all the time. Like I only listen to brutal death metal.
Yeah,
Like
man.
that's cool if it's your thing, but man, I
Yeah. Yeah, I won't knock anybody for having a preference, you know.
right.
But I'm just like, there's so much out there. Like, why not listen to everything, you know?
Yeah. So what are you listening to right now?
Man, so much stuff. On the hip hop front, this guy Norman Sann is so good. Norman Sann, Sann. He sings, he raps, he's kind of sounds like Andre from Outkast, but different. But Norman Sann is really good in the metal and stoner rock world. And the new Dunes album, which is out on Ripple, is really good. The Crops album is really good.
Yo, the
Uh,
next fucking Crop album is fucking amazing.
yeah, yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on that. Damn, there's so much good stuff out there. I'm trying to think. The newest Horse Burner record is really good.
I know. It's like you could list bands for fucking ever, it feels like, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I'm a big fan of Red Fang. Everything they put out is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Big fan of Gojira.
Congrats to them for fucking like playing the Olympics and getting the fucking Grammy and
Yeah, dude, that was gnarly, man. I'm a lifelong fan pretty much, and when I saw that, I was just like so proud. Like I
yeah.
was just like, yeah, they're like, showing the world that there's still good heavy metal being made out there. And damn, that was so badass looking too. Like it just looked awesome.
Oh, dude, for for any heavy music to get onto that worldwide platform and to
Yeah,
cause so much conversation about the
yeah,
performance is like, fuck yeah, whatever glass ceiling was there had just shattered.
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, really, like I can't think of another metal band that's gotten that much exposure since like, maybe like Metallica playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I mean, even that, I don't think that was like near, right? Like, because that the Super
Probably
Bowl isn't
not.
like a worldwide event. Like, I'm sure there are
Yeah,
some places around the world, but this fucking Olympics, dude, that is
yeah,
world encompassing.
yeah. And it was heavy too. It wasn't just, it was brutal.
Yeah, and good for those dudes. They are some of the nicest fucking guys in the world.
Have you met those guys?
Yeah, yeah, I met them a couple of
Oh,
times.
yeah.
So one time they were on tour with Deftones a couple years ago. And Deftones is like our family band, so like they tour as a family, we go fucking see them.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, dude. They put on it. They're just great because nothing is the same, Every
Yeah,
album is so different.
it
We
is.
went we went to fucking Indianapolis to see it, and we're standing there in line. My goal was I was going to take my son to do the meet and greet with Deftones for his birthday, but he had something come up and decided, hey, I'm not gonna go. So I took my daughter and we're fucking standing in line for the meet and greet and
Yeah.
up pulls a fucking Uber and out pops three-fourths of Gojira. And I was like, I don't give a fuck
Shit.
where in line I am. Fucking beeline, dude. Like hung out and chatted. They were super, super fucking nice. And
Awesome, man.
I was just like,
I'd love to meet
fuck
those
yeah.
guys. I'd love to. If I could ever play a show with those guys in any form, I would just be happy.
I'm gonna make a call and be like, hey Joe, I got this band. You guys got to take on the road.
Dude, I would love it. Honestly, there's literal parts in Holy Roller songs where I really just attempted to mimic a Gojira vocal. On our last album that we put out, there's a song called With Time, and the very end of the song, there's like a repeated kind of screamed thing with a melody kind of sung, but also kind of shouted. And I literally told Jamie King, the producer, I was like, dude, I just want to sound like Gojira, man. Let's just layer this until I sound like Gojira.
Fuck
So check
yeah.
it out and let me know if you think it's close.
That was Swimming Witches, right?
Off the album Swimming
Yeah.
Witches, the song's called With Time. It's a weird song, but at the very end of the song, there's like a vocal part that uh, is very much me just trying to like imitate Gojira.
Okay, so that's right after the Deuce.
Yeah.
All right. I was just listening to Swimming Witches, and I was so enthralled that, of course, Greg Burgess and Huron, I'm not even gonna fucking try and pronounce his last name. Sorry,
Yeah.
Huron. I love you. I don't want to fucking butcher it, dude, you know?
Cool. They they both I'm sure love it. They're really cool guys. Honestly, I just was talking with HolyRoller guys and they're like, should we get some guys to do some features and stuff? And I was just like thinking back over the years of who was just cool as shit and who would be fun to do it with, you know? Because I didn't want to really like pay stranger for a feature and it just kind of be like a transactional thing, you know? So we really just hit up people that were friends and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Well, and both those dudes, you know, I think you couldn't find two nicer guys in the metal community, you know?
yeah, yeah, really, both of those guys are not only are they nice, they're like just stand-up people, you know. Uh, Neither one of them has any kind of like shisty behavior, and that's hard to find on touring musicians.
Shit, just as humans.
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah, that's the truth. Just as humans.
That's have you heard the new, speaking of like Greg, have you heard the new Allegiant, like I guess single is Driftwood, right?
I've heard the single, yeah. I didn't know if anything else was out yet. Is that it?
That's
Single?
I think that's the only thing they've released so far. Like I told Greg this, man, the single in my mind is I understand why it's the single, but as
Yeah.
far as Allegiant goes, it's probably the weakest track on the album.
Is it? Man,
Yeah.
well, I've been stoked to hear it because Ezra was a good friend of mine on the road, and I enjoyed hanging out with him a lot. So it's cool to see him back in the fold.
He is fucking he is in tip top shape too.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear it. I
Yeah.
never really knew why he left, but
I,
I'm sure that's personal
I'm
stuff.
yeah, I mean, I think we all have our, you know, all have our the journey we have to go through, and he was dealing
Yeah.
with some things, and like seeing I was super glad when they announced that he had come back, and we caught him with Decapitated, Septic Flesh, and
Nice.
Cataclysm. And he was the best I had ever fucking seen him. He sounded so good, and the band looked so fucking happy, dude.
Nice, man. How was Septic Flesh, by the way?
I think they were good. They were really fucking good. The whole night, there wasn't a band that in any way disappointed. Um,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I was there for a Legion. Those are my dudes. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking be there for that. And anything on top of that was like, ooh, I sing on the cake.
Icing on
Let's
the
do
cake.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see everybody in that package. Wasn't Decapitated playing all of their sophomore album, Nility?
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't remember. Like I've probably
Yeah.
been to, I mean, in the
Yeah, it's
last 6 months, probably 40 fucking shows. So I'm like, I don't know.
yeah, that's cool, man. No, I feel you. I dig all those bands there, but yeah, I would love to see a Legion. Next time they come through here, they play Greensboro every now and then. I'm gonna have to catch them next time.
They're getting ready to go out on tour with Warbringer.
Nice.
I feel like I think they leave Southern California and then do a circle around the states and end in like San Francisco, maybe LA, but it ends up being like just shy of a month. So they might be in the area then.
Yeah, I have a feeling they might be. Yeah, I have to check them out, man.
Yeah, those dudes rip. How did you guys get hooked up with Ripple, who are fucking, I feel like they're the top of the game as far as like stoner and psych and doom bands go.
Dude, yeah, we're thrilled. Honestly, our drummer Jay Ogator probably had the most to do with it. He's just been kind of keeping in touch with Todd, the owner, for a while, and
Todd Severin, yeah.
yeah, and you know, we've just been honestly since the band started. That was like something we dreamt of. Was like, man, being on Ripple would be amazing. We put our first album out ourselves and kind of never released it on physical format in the hopes that we would someday maybe team up with a label that would put it out. Um, and then kind of shortly after that, we put out our second album and we released that with a small Doom label called Black Doomba Records. Um, and they were awesome. They kind of hit us up. It was during the pandemic, so it was really like a weird time in music. And, there's not a lot of people willing to put much money into releasing physical formats and stuff. And he kind of came at just the perfect time and helped us release it on vinyl and CD and everything. And pretty much since we released that album, we've had another album basically written and kind of ready to go. And we've shopped it around for a while just to see, if anybody was interested. Honestly, we had some luck um, and a whole lot of disappointments. So we were really not sure what we were going to do. Kind of crossed my mind to just self-release it and just keep the ball rolling. And thankfully, our drummer had been keeping in touch with Todd, and um, I think our schedules kind of finally aligned. I think we had really wanted to do something with him, and then we lost a member. We had a member leave, and we had somebody who had been playing with us kind of join the band full time. And so that was kind of a little transitional period that set us back 4 or 5 months. Um, but once we got that kind of situated and the recording all finished, it just kind of stars aligned that they were ready to work with us. Yeah, man, we're just really fortunate. Like, we're a small band, we all have full-time jobs, and we're not 19 with just hopes and dreams anymore. We all have bills and real life to deal with, but we're gonna try and give it our best shot, put as much into it as we can and just see how far we can take it.
Hell yeah. I mean, I think it's a good, healthy way to look at it, right? Like, give it our best shot. Whatever happens, happens. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely like the theme of this band has been let's have fun. If it's uncomfortable, we don't do it. If it's not good for us, we just won't do it. And that's worked really well for us so far. Like, we're not making decisions based on money or anything like that. It's just, we just want to put good music out and enjoy doing it and have fun in the process or whatever.
hell yeah. So I know Todd's God, he's scheduled out probably until mid 26 at this point with releases.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a lot of stuff coming out. Our
Yeah.
album will come out this summer though.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have an official release date to announce or anything, but summertime our the album should come out.
Yeah, that'll be good shit. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm like, come on. Like, as soon as I heard you guys signed with Ripple, I was like, fuck yeah. Cause, I think Todd is one of those people, like, the Ripple family, they're pretty straightforward, and there's
Yeah,
no ulterior motives, right? They're there for the love of the music.
that's true. I will say when I saw the contracts, it is very artist friendly. Like, I've seen a lot of contracts through the years, and they all almost 9 out of 10 of them will say, this contract is in perpetuity until the universe into infinity, and like it'll phrase it in ways that's like, holy shit, you own anything I release forever.
Yeah.
And um, most of those contracts are worded in such a complicated way to purposely trick you into not seeing what you're signing. And the Ripple contracts was literally something you or I could just read through and understand. And there were protections for us in the contract, which I've never really seen. I mean, it was just a very simple, artist-friendly contract, and I was just really enthusiastic to see that, they were uh, a genuine company or whatever.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I think when you're at this level, that's, for an artist, that's always what you hope for, is for someone who's gonna, obviously they want to make money too. right? Otherwise, they
Yeah.
wouldn't do this. But that's not the number one intent. The intent is to put good music out for other people to hear, help grow the band, and hopefully,
Yeah.
together you go places.
Yeah. Yeah. That seems to be the case. I mean, we've just kind of started in this partnership, and we'll see how it goes and everything. But I'm very hopeful and excited about the partnership because it's just seemed to be uh, a really for the music kind of process. And again, I got to thank our drummer Jay because he really put the time in. He's really good at talking to people, and sometimes I can be, and then I get in my own little world. And, I'm not the best at corresponding. Sometimes you might understand. Sometimes I'll just disappear for a few days. And, Jay's been really helpful in this whole process, working with Todd and coordinating everything, artwork and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, that I think that's important, especially for a band, for everyone to kind of work together and play off of each other's strengths. It's
Yeah.
like it's a fucking marriage, you're
Yeah.
just, I mean, I guess maybe you're having sex, but usually it's just like a business marriage.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. Every time me and my wife talk about being in bands and stuff, it's just like, it's just it's a relationship. You're literally living with these people. And the hardest part of being in like a full-time band, in my opinion, is just navigating those relationships. I don't know, like being on tour is just so hard for me. Maybe it's different for other people, but uh, I kind of go into like a social hole after a while because I'm out of my comfort zone for so long. I probably smoke a lot more weed and kind of, try and ease through things like that. But uh, yeah, just dealing with people in small spaces is hard, and then just imagine doing that with people that you've been fighting with for a couple of weeks and
Well, yeah,
all that.
then on top of that, your social cup is fucking runneth empty. You've
Yeah,
not really had that time to yourself to put that shit back together, whatever you do to fill that cup back up.
yeah, yeah, that's very true, man. There's some studies on touring musicians and depression, and it's pretty closely tied. Like you're on tour, you're riding a high, and then you come off of tour and you're just going back to work and you're just back to the grind and you kind of have this withdrawal from getting that dopamine rush every night. I really saw that when I stopped being on the road a lot with Wretched. I hit some like really depressed periods, and it took me a while of like getting used to a routine at home before that kind of evened back out again. But it was pretty hard at first to just go from feeling like a rock star, just being on tour, getting fucked up and all that, and then coming back and taking the trash out and sweeping the shit.
Do the
Good job.
dishes, and you're like, oh fuck, man, I'm not a rock star today. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Everybody's mad. Everybody's riding your ass on the way to work and pissed that you're just a slow asshole.
It's so funny. I never really like thought about that, getting off the road, but I could absolutely seen that. Like, how has that, obviously you're not touring near like you did. How has that transition been? Like, do you feel like now you've found like your place at home, I guess?
Yeah, I do. I've always had a place at home. I've been married and with the same person for quite a long time. And the whole time I was on tour, I had a great time, but I am not suited for it full time. And when I got back home, me and my wife could work out. We had some rocky years there. Like we were just saying, your social cup is full. And sometimes, if you're like myself, I'm a little ADD. And when I'm out on the road, I'm going from conversation to conversation to conversation to conversation to sleep. And um, I was forgetting to text my then girlfriend or call my girlfriends, sometimes for several days. She'd be like, "Hey, are you there? Like what's going on?" And I wasn't out of control partying or anything. I was just seriously so distracted constantly on tour that I just couldn't function in a real way. And uh, coming back home, I've been able to like kind of work on that relationship and relationships with my friends and family that I kind of neglected for some time, and got into a workout routine and a job routine that worked for me and everything. And I kind of had to restructure life and everything, but it's been a positive. I've been able to see doctors regularly. That's something I was not doing right when I was on tour. Eating better, exercising, I'm just a lot healthier now. And I feel like if, the plan with Holy Roller is to do some touring, but just, holiday kind of stuff, spring break, just as much as we can do. And I feel like now I can kind of take healthier habits into that. Whereas before I was just inexperienced and just trying to make it through. I think now I just have a longer term objective.
But I think that, that's a good way to look at it. Obviously, touring with Wretched was 15 or 15-ish years ago. So you were still pretty fucking young, so like
Yeah,
you're young and
yeah,
touring, you're like, shit, I just want to fucking party and talk to everyone. And
yeah. And just experience it all, man. That's
yeah,
that's definitely true. I also had uh, like I told you earlier, I had a lot of substance abuse issues with benzos in particular, and I was, prescribed those benzos. I wasn't buying them legally, but I was taking a lot of Xanax for 10, 15 years, and I don't know. I had this mentality that I wasn't going to live very long. I've met a lot of people that felt the same way, that there's kind of expected. Yeah, dude, seriously, I mean, like, I think this came from, my sister committed suicide when she was just about 18,
I hear
and,
that.
or I'm sorry, she was about 21. I appreciate it, man. It's definitely been a big catalyst for all the music I've made. But I think after experiencing that as a teenager, I saw that for myself in some weird way, that if I didn't uh, become a rock star and just blow up, I would
It'd all
end
be
that
kind of
way.
meaningless.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't believe that I was going to grow old, and that would be how I left this world, I guess. And so I didn't think about, protecting my back and my ears,
Yeah.
driving safe, all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that though, I mean, I felt the same way, and my wife is was pretty surprised to hear that, like early on. I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna live long. Like I've had a great life.
Yeah,
I've lived fucking hard and done all the things I wanted to do. And she's like, you're
yeah,
gonna live forever. Like, nah, I'm not. I'm okay with it though. Like if I die tomorrow, I'm okay. And she's like, no, you're gonna live. You're gonna live. And
yeah,
I didn't. Should I? I'm sure you probably had this something very similar, but initially it was. I probably won't live past 20. And then it was, well,
yeah,
I definitely won't live past 30. And then
yeah. That's
now,
exactly it.
so shit, I'm almost 50 now. And I'm like, oh God, I didn't think I'd ever make it here. Like my fucking back hurts, my hip is fucking misaligned. And I'm like, oh, how'd I
Yeah.
get old?
It's all in the head, man. Like I'm about to turn 40 in April. Like you said, I didn't think I'd live past 21. Then it was I wouldn't live past 30. And honestly, about 30 is when I started thinking like, all right, I might be here a while. So, all right, got to start going to the dentist, taking care of some of those permanent things and all that.
Yeah. That I guess it's probably mid 30s for me. But even then I was still like maybe I'll live past 40, but I don't think so. And that
Yeah.
was about the time I met who is now my wife.
Yeah.
And so it's funny to, to see her like now, like you're gonna live to be old. Like I still don't think I'm gonna live to be old,
Yeah.
right? But
I can't
at
imagine it.
yeah,
But
but I'm same thing though. I'm definitely living a very different lifestyle than I was 15 years ago.
yeah. Yeah, I think if you have fun, the point is to just have fun for as long as you can. And, you can have fun and not destroy yourself at the same time, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're both kind of fucking feeling it at this point. Like, I wake up in the morning like, shit.
Yeah, man, I definitely am feeling it. I feel like the best way to combat that is just to keep going though. Like, uh, I feel like when I start slowing down some is when it's gonna really start hurting.
Oh yeah,
I
that is that's exactly it. Because I did, I was super active, and uh, I guess 2018 that really changed for me. Like I started my own business and I've got a couple of things going, but now I spend most of my time like this in front of a
Yeah.
computer. So I go to a show now and I'm like three bands, I'm good. Four bands, I'm really starting to push it. Five bands. By that fifth band, I'm fucking hating everything. Like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, my threshold for festivals is kind of left. I think they're
and
still
it,
cool. I think
yeah,
I would
but you
rather
got to be
see,
strategic on how you like do the festival,
yeah, you're right, man. That's the frustrating part about festivals is like you see all your favorite bands, but you only see like 10 to 15 minutes of them basically. I don't know. I think I'd rather see a full headlining set uh, than catch it, my favorite band at the festival.
I think I'm 100% with you. I would much rather see them, kind of on their own. Like in Louisville, we miss a lot of artists go around us because louder than life, so it's like,
Yeah,
fuck, can we like,
yeah,
can you guys come play something? When someone plays, usually, I'd say more times than not, I'm traveling, right? Cincinnati, Columbus, Indianapolis, Chicago, Nashville, Detroit, like
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, we kind of get skips as well, but not really because of festival. I live in Tobacconville or Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and we're basically like a Tuesday night stop on a tour, and 90% of the time they just go to DC or to Georgia
Yeah, you're like,
or
no.
Nashville.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So what's the, what's the closest outside of Winston-Salem for you guys? Is it Raleigh?
Charlotte, probably. Charlotte's about an hour and a half, and Raleigh is about 2 hours, and then Asheville is about 2 hours from here, or 3 hours maybe. So I'm kind of like right in the middle of the state. It's just nice, you can go to the mountains or the beach in 4 hours.
Yeah, not here. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, since I've been in Kentucky, I don't think I've been to a beach in Kentucky.
yeah,
Weird. Like, I grew up in Michigan, so beaches, beaches galore. And I know there are beaches here, but it's like shit. As a kid, I could like literally walk from my porch. You go 2 blocks this way, and there's a beach on this lake, and you go a block this way, and there's a beach on that lake. Like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah, yeah. I guess I take it for granted sometimes, but it's either that's that's the thing. You either go to the mountains and chill or the beach. The beach is like 4 hour drive, 5 hour drive, and the mountains are like a couple hours from here.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that's all right. So when all that shit happened last year, like the storms coming through, how bad were you all affected?
Well, I was not affected. Yeah, I'm really thankful. That was a really devastating storm for North Carolina, though. Like it really affected me seeing all that damage happening and just really not knowing what to do about it. A lot of our friends and neighboring bands had a lot of damage and lost a lot. This band actually, Bass,
That's a cool fucking
those,
shirt.
yeah, those guys are awesome. Um, they're on Season of the Mist or Season of Mist. Uh, they're doing a tour. I think they're about to go on tour with Weed Eater very soon, and I think they lost a lot of their gear in the rehearsal spot or whatever.
Damn.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense thing. I didn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, that was like, of course, when North Carolina was getting hit, that was Ladder Than Life weekend. And it's so crazy. That was the day Slayer fucking was like, like not Slayer, but the festival canceled. And everyone's like, no, Slayer. Buddy
Yeah,
looks at me and goes, I never once thought, it was actually Dion. He goes, I never once thought that I'd go to Kentucky and a fucking hurricane, that I would miss a show because of a hurricane in Kentucky. I'm like, welcome.
yeah. That's
Funny.
crazy. Did y'all get
It's
a lot of damage?
we didn't get a lot of damage. It was just a lot of wind and a lot of fucking rain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how it was around Winston. It's just, rainy, nasty out, but uh, I don't think anything in my area really flooded or anything like that.
I'm sure we probably had some flooding, but like if it rains 3 inches, the fucking river raises so quick that you know
Yeah.
everyone's like, "Fuck, why do I live on the river?" I don't know. It's so funny. So on the next, what's the name of the next Holy Roller album?
Not sure if I can say. I'll tell you. It's called The Rat King.
The Rat King. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about this thing called a rat king, which is where I think it's just in New York, where in the walls, if there's such a bad rat infestation, the rats will kind of crawl all over each other until their tails somewhat fuse together like a dreadlock, and they become one big mass of rats that have to like move together as one, and they call it a rat king.
Oh shit, that's a little scary. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna,
Yeah, that's intense, man, if that's real.
yeah, they're gonna eat you through the asshole out, and like, and it's not gonna be like one fucking rat. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
real big asshole.
Yeah, man. I'm stoked on that. It's funny, I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast sometimes, and I'm not a diehard Theo Vaughn guy, but I think he's really funny. And after we decided to call our album The Rat King, the more and more I listened to his podcast, I kept hearing him say the name of his tour or something like that was called Return of the Rat King. And I've been sitting on this name for like 3 years or something.
And you're like, shit. Like, and
Yeah,
that dude, Theo Vaughn, is a fucking nut. Like, he
yeah,
says some shit where I'm like, where even does that come from, dude?
yeah, man. I just think he's hilarious. Like, he's just a goofy ass sounding dude. And yeah, I thought that was funny, but yeah, it's kind of a coincidence.
What about like what he came from? Like as a child fucking preacher and shit.
You know, I'm not sure if I know all about that.
So, uh
That's
probably he was, dude, like in the I want to say like in the 90s or something, like his maybe late 80s, early 90s, his parents touted him as like the like preaching prodigy. And he went across like talk shows like Maury Povich and fucking Oprah and shit like that. I mean, like all those type of people. I don't know if he went to those specifically, but he would like be on stage and start fucking preaching to the crowd about hellfire and brimstone and
really.
yeah, dude. And then where did he go? I act like I'm a Theo Vaughn like historian.
Yeah, that's interesting. I knew he was on like Road Rules or Real World, one of those two.
Maybe.
That's all I knew about him, that he was on one of those shows, and I got to start doing reality TV. But um, I kind of forgot about that until he started doing stand-up comedy, and I kind of like some of the stand-up comedy, and all of a sudden remembered, like, oh yeah, he was on MTV in the like 90s.
Yeah, he sang in a like a Christian band. He's got a great voice, dude. Like he can sing.
No shit. That's
Yeah.
great. I have to look up the Preaching
But
Baby.
dude, yeah, Theo Vaughn, Preaching Child. I mean, he was like, I think he was maybe like 11 or 12.
Yeah,
Like,
interesting.
holy shit, dude. And yeah, definitely
Very.
check it out. That dude's wild. He's got stories for fucking for years too.
Some of them I just can't believe. Like people have the craziest fucking story,
Yeah.
but he's always got a guy. Man, we had a guy in our town that used to uh, eat beavers for
Yeah.
fun. And you're like, what?
Yeah. He's funniest the best thing is like when all the comics talk about when they're like touring and they're like, oh, we got to do like theoisms, you know? So they're what are they fucking one of them's like, yeah, so we had this neighbor used to have a couple of rats that would fight out in the street and we'd want to watch and he'd be like, yep, $5 you can watch my rats fight and whatever else he fucking like Jesus Christ, Theo, what do you have? Oh, that dude, I think some of his stories are pretty unbelievable, but like I think we've both been through enough where it's like that might have actually fucking happened. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's the great part about it. It's like maybe it happened, maybe it didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good shit. Okay, how many songs do we have on the album?
The album will have 8 songs.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna ask names because I don't want you to like ruin the surprise for everyone.
Yeah. Most of I think the only one we've been playing live is a song called Crunch Grit Supreme. And it is a song that it's changed now, but a demo that I wrote for a Doom band that I played with a guitar player who's now in HolyRoller. We were in a sludgy Doom band called Graves of Gods. And I wrote this song for that band, and that band's uh, kind of split up right around the time the pandemic started. Half the band was really uh, into the science of it, and other guys not so much. So like it just kind of put us in a weird place as far as practicing and all that, and everything. So we that band kind of split up, and during the pandemic is where this band really kind of got our emotion going.
Oh yeah. It's funny, the pandemic, I think it was such a weird thing. And I'm not going to speak on it one way or another because whatever, everyone has their opinion on it. But I think for a lot of bands, it shed a bunch of light on like if this is really going to work or if it's not. You saw some bands like go, okay, I know this happened and we can't go out and do this thing that we should be doing every couple of months. So we're
Yeah,
gonna switch and maybe a new band comes out, or we're really going to focus on like merch sales and live stream concerts and what have you.
yeah, yeah. It was a hard thing to navigate, man, because like um, I'm not an expert. I tend to trust uh what the experts are saying, and of course, you want to be vigilant for yourself and cross-examine everything. But for me, I was just trying to follow the guidelines that it seemed like doctors were setting. But at the same time, like there's a reality for people that have to go to work every day. And, I was, I guess, fortunate to be, what was the term they used for workers that were
Oh, essential
necessary?
workers.
Essential workers. I do maintenance and apartment renovations. Well, at that time, I was doing maintenance. And so I was considered an essential worker. And I was also working in a restaurant. they were considered essential workers. So, I just had to go to work every day. And really, my reality didn't change, except for touring, uh, going to shows like that. That whole side of life really, just was gone for maybe 6 months to a year. Um, and it was weird, man. I remember some of our first shows, it was a big like, should we wear a mask? Should we not wear a mask? Like, is there a point to wearing a mask after we've just been like shouting and spitting in the room?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I still don't know, if what I did was right or not, but it was really hard to navigate. I also felt very selfish when I wanted to get out and play shows. We played some, not like during the heat of it, but like, not too long after it when bands were first starting to play out. And I really had to think, like, am I gonna fucking spread this if I, by like getting a bunch of people together in a small room? Am I gonna like, cause anyone to get hurt? Like that all went through my brain. But yeah, I'm just happy that things are getting back to kind of more normal place.
Yeah, I think um I was not a fan of the lockdown.
Yeah,
I wore a mask. I go to a lot of shows, so I really missed that. But I was also an essential worker, so I'm a realtor, and houses were fucking going crazy through all that. The thing that I
yeah,
really liked, there was like no one on the fucking road. So if I
yeah,
had to go somewhere, it was like I could do 100, and I'm like, I don't have to worry about
yeah,
traffic at all. I was super. I'll tell you, I went to right before the lockdown. I went to Dallas, flew to Dallas for something, and I was like I had a little cough and I was making jokes about it, you know. And I come home and I coughed and I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have just went to China, and like people around me are like, what the fuck? Like I didn't really know what was going on. I'm just screwing around. And I get
yeah,
home. I'm home for like 2 weeks and the world shuts down. I'm like, fuck, damn it. But and then when they lifted all the shit and were like, oh, you can go and do it, I feel like
yeah,
people went absolutely bonkers. Like I can get
yeah,
out, and they're spending all their fucking money, and we're still people are still getting their money and whatever. What's right? I don't know. We can all look back and go, well, we should have did X, Y, and Z, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, all we have is from where we are and moving forward.
yeah, yeah, man.
So look, fucking pandemic. Okay, Adam, I'm not gonna keep you all night. Dude, it's been great chatting with you. I appreciate you taking time out of your night to hang out and chat and bullshit with me.
Yeah, dude. No, it's been fun, man. We should definitely do it again sometime.
Fuck yeah. And I'll I'll hit Braun up and be like, hey, get fucking HolyRoller out
Yeah.
here. He's a great promoter, dude. So,
Yeah, I see his best legalized Lex.
yep.
That looks awesome, man. They knocked it out of the park with that lineup. Yeah, man. Let them know we're down to come play some shows. We've been talking to them because we're gonna play Maryland Doomfest with them, and hopefully the album should be out around that time. Um, yeah, we were hoping to get some shows on the way to Maryland Doomfest, and we've been talking to them about maybe setting something up. So hopefully that works out, man. That'd be fucking awesome.
That would be cool as shit for sure. There's a lot of good bands playing fucking Maryland Doomfest.
Yeah, dude. We're we're stoked about that. We've been trying to get on that for several years and really excited about it. I think we're playing Saturday, um, kind of in the middle of the day, sometime like 4 or 5 maybe. But
Is that the day Sonolith plays? I ask you like you fucking, but
yeah, there's so many bands playing. I know this. I think Crop is playing the same day we're playing. Crystal Spiders is playing the same day. I think Legions of Doom is playing the same day.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Now I have to look at the fucking lineup.
I need to double check. There's so many bands on it, man. It's hard to
Yeah.
keep up.
Yeah, they fucking like rush them. I mean, and Braun's doing the same thing with Legalize, like this year it's at least 2 different days, but last year Legalize one, it ran so fucking smooth. Like The
Nice.
bands got off time once, and wasn't because like someone was behind or anything. It was because one of the guitar heads for the band just fucking shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens, man.
Yep.
That's cool there. That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I can't wait to do that Maryland Doomfest. I can't wait to get up there and do some out of state stuff again, man. We're excited this weekend. We're about to go play Tribbles in Piedmont, South Carolina, and then we're going to Athens, Georgia to play the Sign Theater.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're excited about that, man. It's with a sludge band from Atlanta called Hot Ram. They're pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Get out, play some
man.
fucking shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now we just, I'm literally, as soon as we're done, I'm hitting Braun up. Make sure you get fucking the Holy Roller dudes here. Um,
yeah.
because we gotta get you guys to Kentucky. I think you'll have a lot of fucking people here that'll love you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. We definitely love it. You just let us know.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, go and have yourself a great night.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you, man.
Thanks. See ya.
See you, buddy.